My young wingman and I had expended all our bombs and ammunition on the barges along the Mekong River in our night attack, so now we pulled off and turned back to our home base at Phan Rang in eastern Vietnam. It had been a good night, and the weather in the Mekong area had been quite good. I checked on the weather back at Phan Rang. The weather at Phan Rang had a very thick cloud layer, but overall was not bad. Thick clouds ran from about 22,000 feet all the way down to about 1,500 feet above the ground, but visibility under the clouds was quite good. My young wingman had done very well on the flight so far, and I thought this would be a good time to give him a chance to lead a flight home at night in weather. I told him to take the lead, and I dropped back and took the wing position, hanging on to his wing as we went into a layer of clouds. The standard weather penetration for jets was called the teardrop. We would come over our base at 20,000 feet, called the initial point, make a 45-degree left turn, reduce our power to 80%, drop our speed brakes, maintain 250 knots airspeed, make a gradual right 225-degree turn. We would end up going back toward our base at 1,500 feet, ready on final approach. By now, I was a very experienced old fighter pilot, and I could fly wing at night in weather and still keep track of exactly where we were and what we were doing. We came over our base at 20,000 feet at the initial point, made our 45-degree left turn, reduced power to 80%, and started down at the 250 knots we're supposed to maintain. All good, except my young leader forgot to deploy his speed brakes. We were at 80% power, as planned, holding 250 knots as we should, but we weren't going down fast enough. I almost reminded him to drop his speed brakes, but then I thought this might be interesting. The weather was not too bad down there. Let's see what happened. So I didn't tell him anything about his speed brakes and let him work the problem out. We weren't going down fast enough. We maintained our 250 knots and turned on the final approach just as we should, but we were too high. We were so high that the precision final approach radar couldn't pick us up on their scopes. They passed us back to approach control, who vectored us around, during which time we got lower, got down to our 1,500 feet, and came back for a second time. This time, the radar could pick us up. We slowed down, dropped our gear, and made a normal approach and landing. We parked our planes, shut down the engines, and I got out and walked over toward him. The night was cool, but I could see his flight suit was dripping with sweat. Do you know where you were, and do you know what happened? He shook his head weakly. You forgot to use your speed brakes, I said. I walked over with him to debriefing, and we talked over what had happened. He had made a mistake, but he had recovered and had landed safely without any help from me. I hoped that the experiences of this evening would increase his confidence in himself and build the spirit of attack.